common knowledge that a lot of bank lending was focused on oil trading and speculation. How has the slump in oil prices affected this arm of business, and how has it impacted the bottom line, especially the loan portfolios?
In the upstream area, what has happened is that, yes, the price of oil has come down, so it means that the ability to generate cash flows has been reduced significantly. So what has happened is that banks have had to elongate the tenure of those facilities. So it is not the fact that the price has gone and does not put the facility at risk, so to say. It just means that it will take a longer time to for the cash flows to be generated to pay back on that loan. And it means that so what that means is that your capacity to lend to new customers in that space is actually reduced. But you find that what most banks are doing now is their portfolios are capped in that space, and they are looking for new avenues in which to lend to customers. So the oil and gas industry is not at risk because, first of all, oil is still in demand globally. It will still be in demand for years to come. And I think that will, and the reserves of these organizations that have been lent to still have enough oil to pay back over a longer period of time.
You're talking about lending. Before AMCON was set up, non-performing loans were about 33%, but which has come down. But there's still non-performing loans on bank books. To what do you reckon we should attribute this? And was the naming and shaming that recently happened, did it help in any way to get your monies back?
First of all, banks are not in the habit of, the last thing we want to do as an organization is to name and shame, because that relationship is supposed to be a confidential relationship. And so it is extreme situations that require extreme actions. So the people that you see on that list are people who, for most banks, have decided not to come to the table to renegotiate or restructure or find a way that we can work together to come to an agreeable conclusion of how to pay back that loan. So that is what it is. Now, one of the reasons why the credit to GDP is low, because you also need an enabling environment in which to lend. You need a consistent rule of law. You need to have, like, which is what we're trying to build in this industry, which is the BV, and a unique identity that enables us to find out the extent of credit exposure a customer has, so which will enable us to determine how much to give him, if to give him any. Now, lending is portfolio based, so if you can lend to a portfolio of people and the risk of default is low, that encourages you to lend more, and then should I say reflect the price in the lending that would absorb the loan that might go bad, which happens in any lending environment.
You're on record as having said, and I quote, "I have always believed in supporting SMEs and young entrepreneurs to empower them play their catalytic role in employment generation and economic development." What do SMEs have to do to get the support of banks like Diamond Bank?
For us in Diamond Bank, there are two prongs. First, we worked with, we've been in the MSME, the small business, since 2000, almost 10 years, and we started this by working with, we're the first bank in Sub-Saharan Africa to work with IFC to develop a product, a proposition for small businesses that not only looked at our capital, but also looked at providing capital at an affordable cost. But we also looked at the other parts, which is advisory services. How do we ensure that we can, as businesses grow, we provide an avenue for capacity building, so that they understand that they also need, as your business is growing, you're also growing the managerial capacity to build reserves, build awareness of your products and services, and also keep talent. And so to do that as an organization, so as a bank, there's one bit that we're good at, and that's the money business. The other part is knowing who to work with to provide a holistic service to that area. So we work with international organizations like IFC, Women's World Banking. We work with Lagos Business School, the EDC, the Entrepreneur Arm, and other agencies that help capacity building. And we provide, so when you, as a small business, open a small business account with Diamond Bank, you enter an environment where we're not only looking at how do we help you manage your money, or should I say, build your business, but also how do you ensure that your business is sustainable into the future? And I think that is what, I think that proposition is what gives us that competitive edge. It is not, anyone can develop a product, but you need to build the partnerships. You need to build the infrastructure to enable people to access those services and people to tap into it. And we think that's where the future of Nigeria is. 17 million small businesses, unbanked small businesses, and in any, should I say, successful economy, 70% of GDP is actually from small businesses in Europe, in America, and where access to credit to these or access to financial services is a small part in Nigeria. It means that things like unemployment, and they are also the biggest, they are the biggest employer of labor and not government as we see in Nigeria. So for us to, as an organization, to be sustainable into the future, we must make sure that the businesses that we provide services are also sustainable, because the value of a company like ours, especially us that are in retail business, is to show that as we invest in businesses and we provide services, that they also are successful. The more successful they are, the more successful, the bigger the value of Diamond Bank is. So when people ask me how's business, you have to ask my customers how business is.
We have to take another break. Please join us again.